Okay, so this is the second video on the first section of Algebraic, Intro to Algebra. What I'm going to do in this section is to go through writing algebraic expressions for worded scenarios and also changing some worded problems into algebraic expressions. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go through these problems and work through how we would write this as an algebraic expression. So here's example 2. It's in your contingency booklet, so you can have a look at it as well. This question is asking me to write algebraic expressions for the following scenarios. So let's go through them. The first one, A. I want to write an algebraic expression for the number of tickets required for 3 boys and R girls. Okay, so let's think about this. What we're imagining is there's 3 boys, 1, and I'm going to put a B for them, 2, 3. 3 boys and R girls. Now, if you remember, we said that pronumerals were letters used in place of numbers where we don't know the number or the number can change. So we don't know how many R is. So we're just going to I'm just going to put a whole bunch of girls, G, 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 that's a terrible looking one, G, and I don't know how many of them there are, but I do know I can say that there's R of them. So if I want to find how many tickets I need for all together here, what am I going to do? Well, as you can see, I'm going to need to add the 2 together. So I need to add the 2 together. So for this algebraic expression, I need to go 3 plus R. Is everyone cool with that? Okay. Now, the next one, part B. Part B. I want to find the cost in dollars of P pies at $3 each. So similar to the first one, I have P, capital P pies. I don't know how many capital P is. So I don't know how many pies I'm actually going to buy. But what I do know is that I've got, for each pie, and this is a bad looking pie, it costs $3. So every time I see a pie, it's going to cost me another $3, and $3, and so on. If I have 3 pies here, that's going to cost me $9 because it's 3 times 3. So if I have P pies, so here I've got 3 pies, so that's going to be 3 times $3. But if I have P of them, I don't know how many there are. I have P pies. I don't know how many of them there are. They're still all going to be $3 each. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, if you notice down here, I did 3 times $3 if I had 3 pies. Well, if I have P pies, that's just the same. That's going to be P times $3. So for this one, I'm just going to write that as, I'm going to change the order. I'm going to do $3 times P, because for each pie, it's going to cost me $3. Now up the top, I also said that every time we wrote multiplication, we don't actually write the multiplication sign. We shorthand it. We shorthand this to $3P. We don't write the multiplication sign, we just write it all together. So that's example 2, part B. Now the final one is question C. Question C asks me, if I have a $300 prize and it's shared equally amongst M friends. So what we're imagining is I have a prize, I've got $300, and I have a certain number of friends, M of them. I don't know how many M is. M could be 2 people. I could have 2 friends I'm sharing it between. I could have even 3 friends I'm sharing it between. I could have up to 4 friends. I don't know how many people I'm going to share it between. All I know is that they're all together in my group of friends here. I've got, how many of them? All together, I've got M friends. Now, if we simplified this to just 2 friends, how much would each person get? Well, if I had 2 friends and I'm splitting it evenly, what I'd do is I would go $300 divided by 2, because I've got 2 friends. That would give me $150 per person. So for here, because I'm doing it between M friends that I don't know, I'm just going to follow that pattern. I'm going to do 300 300 divided by, instead of 2, it's going to be, how many friends do I have? M friends. So for this one, I'm going to write it as 300 divided by m. Now in mathematics, there's a way that we write this. When we write division with algebra, we often like using fractions. So here, I'm going to write it as 300 over m. So that's these three examples. If I'm trying to write algebraic expressions, what you need to do is just think through what is happening in this scenario. What operation am I going to need to use to write this expression? So that was example number 2. Now in this video, I'm also going to go through example number 3, where we convert words to expressions. So we have these 3 algebraic expressions we want to write. These 3 worded expressions, and we want to write it as algebraic expressions. So let's go through this one. Okay. The first one. I want 5 less than x. 5 less than x. Now here, I'm finding the number that's 5 units smaller than x. I don't know where x is. X can be any number. So I have my x. X can be any number. So if I drew it on the number line, I can have any random number. I can have x could be a positive number. It could be, if 0 is here, x could be a big positive number that's bigger than 100. Or x could be a really small negative number. It could be a negative number that's a little bit bigger than negative 100. So I could have x down here. I could have x anywhere on my number line. I don't know where this number is. I'm just going to write it over here, x. Now, if I want 5 less than x, what operation am I going to use? Well, I'm going to use subtraction here. When I see less than, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do subtraction. Now, if I want 5 less than x, it's going to be the number that's 5 to the left of x. So I'm going to find this number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if I want to find that number, what I need to do, well, is I take my x, you remember, and I subtract by 5. I subtract by 5. So this number here is going to be x minus 5. So here, for this first one, it's going to be x minus 5. Now the reason now here, reading the expression is really important. The order that the words are written is really important. It's 5 less than x. It's not x less than 5. 5 x is x less than 5. Because the number at the front is the number that you're subtracting. It's x less than 5. So here, just make sure you read the order of the words really carefully. It's really important to read what order the words come in. Okay, second one, part B. 3 more than twice I. 3 more than twice x, sorry. Now here, we need to be really careful as well. I'm going to break it down in a few bits. Now the first part, it says 3 more than. So using the same pattern before, if I had 5 less than x, I was subtracting 5 from x. So if I have 3 more than, what operation am I going to use? If you see more than, it means that you're going to do an addition. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add, what am I going to add? 3. Okay, let's move on to the next part. Twice x. 3 more than twice x. Now if I do twice x, what is that? What operation am I going to use? Well, if I do twice x, that's going to be 2 times x. 2 times x. So, we're going to write here 2 times x plus 3. 3 more than twice x is going to be 2 times x plus 3. Now, as I said before, mathematicians are really lazy. We want to shorthand this as easily as we can. So, to shorthand this, we're not going to write the times sign. We're going to just write this as 2x plus 3. For the second one, 3 more than twice x is just going to be 2x plus 3. Okay, I'm going to do part C now. Part C is telling me to find the sum of a and b is divided by 4. Okay, I'm going to work left to right. of A and B. When you see the word sum, what operation are you going to use? When you see the word sum, it means you add the two. So I'm going to add A. Okay, so I'm going to add A plus B. Now the second part of this tells me that this result is then divided by 4. So hopefully you can tell, divided by 4 just means I'm going to divide the whole thing by 4. Here, it's not just A being divided by 4 or B being divided by 4. The whole sum is being divided by 4. So that's what it's going to be. A plus B, and I put them in brackets because I'm going to apply the division to the whole thing, is divided by 4. Now, as I said in the previous example, we shorthand this. We write it as a fraction, so we can write this as A plus B over 4. When we see division, often we will write it as a fraction. Okay, I'm going to go through the last one. The square of the sum of 4x plus y. Okay, so I'm going to work left to right again here. The square. Okay, so when you square a number, you times it by itself. And what we do is we write this little small 2 at the top of whatever we're squaring. So what are we squaring? So here, I'm just going to put it in. I'm going to put a little 2 at the top to indicate that I'm squaring. Well, what am I squaring? If you have a look here, I'm squaring the sum of x and y. So similar to the previous example, if I see a sum, I'm going to add the 2 together. So here I'm going to do x plus y. Now, it's a square applying to just one of my terms. Is it just applying it to the x? Well, no. Is it applying it just to the y? No, not that either. Here, what you notice is it's the square of the sum of x and y. So I need to apply it to both of them. And how I do that is I write both of them inside a bracket. I put that square symbol. So what that's telling me is I'm squaring the whole thing. I'm squaring x plus y here. So that's how we do these 4 examples here. This video was a little bit longer. Hopefully you're following along. If you need to go back and review any of the parts, feel free to do so. There's one more part after this, so please stay tuned.